I am that I am. The artist formerly known as Adamus Saint Germain. Talking to free energy artists. Talking to a free world. A different space than the one I came in to a couple of days ago. It is quite difficult indeed, Imzaia, to come into this space now and to give myself this voice, because actually what I dare to say almost is that my voice at this point sounds more real when it is spoken from within, when it is lingering on the inside of you. But still the voice is being pushed out, being pushed into this body. So that is the way I speak. Know that a time is at hand when these things will no longer be necessary. But we've been saying that for a while now. As you know, I am about to reincarnate into a human body. I think it's going to be human anyway. It's not going to be a pig, although that could be fun too. And as that is going to happen, as more of us are going to return to what is now a free energy space, you will begin to notice that the inner wisdom, the inner truth, as some would call it, is going to resurface again. Always know that no one can tell you what to think. No one can tell you what to feel, do, or say. Everything happens on the inside, and that is where you will feel these energies that used to be us come in very soon. I know that I was invited in to bring you a Q&A session, but before we go into that, I would like to share some things with you. First of all, the way I can look at the planet now, the way others are looking at the planet now, and the energy field that is called reality has changed quite a bit. As you will very shortly notice as you shed your skins, as you let go of personality traits, you will begin to see, like it was said to some just mere moments ago, that energy and matter are going to be blending in a way that actually is a more authentic way than the separation that you have been used to. So far, the human I and the human angel that you are could either look at a world of matter, or you could look at a world of energy. And it took years of training to get into seeing things. So many of you, in times that came before, in another era actually, used to come up and used to come and sit in the chair when the Q&A sessions began all over the planet, and they used to ask questions such as, "Oh, Adamus," or whatever name, "I would like to see things." And I used to tell them, "You're already seeing things." And then they used to say, "I'd like to see energy, I'd like to see auric fields, I'd like to see tachyon, I'd like to see what is going on in a person, the emotional field, or the sensations that are happening within a person." And yes, it did take years of training to get into that, and there were the mystery schools that were corrupted later on, but they were authentic at one point. And there were temples, and there were places that people could go to. And sometimes people were born with what used to be called the sight, and then they immediately saw all of these things. Oftentimes when I come into bodies such as this one, afterwards, when the channel's personality and the channel's energy returns into the body, people will come up to these channeling people, and they will say, "Oh, I saw these most amazing colors around you as you were going into channel, and I saw the violet, and I saw the pink, and I saw the green." It's very strange to think that this is a unique thing on this planet Earth. Because what I can see today, as I look at you, as I look at the carpet, as I look at the computer over there, or the chair, or even the sky, or even the empty air, or the air that appears to be empty in between us, I no longer see matter or energy. I see through it all. There's a song in there. And through it all, she offers me protection. That was an ode to Robbie Williams. Anyway, I can see through it all. And through it all, I'm sorry, I try to be nervous and I try to be serious and I try to be all of these things that I usually used to be as I carried my personality with me, and that's gone now. So anyway, I'm going to get serious again. Through it all, looking through it all, what does that mean? Looking through it all means that matter and energy have blended again. So every particle of matter or energy or air or whatever you want to call it, every particle of consciousness as well that you see actually now emits the Akeneic energy. You were told a while ago by myself and by others that the Akeneic was no longer simply here in the chest of the human being, that it had spread all through the body. And it was there in every human cell. Remember that? It was a very difficult concept for most people to grasp, because they were so used to looking at this center of the chest and what was there. And even before you were fully aware that you could work with this, it changed again. And it became bigger. And now today, in every particle, everything that you see around you as the field of experience is emanating this Akeneic. That means a very important thing, that every atom, every molecule, the core of these things, the center of these things, is now again the center of all things. And that is what reality is all about. That is what truth is all about. That is why it was said by others before, even 2 or 3 years ago, that there will be no more secrets on planet Earth. Great things happened in the galaxy. Great things happened in the cosmos, and as was said here in this room before, Imzaia, these things will not be spread out into the open. What happened, however, and that I can say, that I want to put out there into the world, what happened in the cosmos is the end of separation. All that was once separate is now one again, is now blended again, is now all again. And that is all you need to remember about the previous era of mankind and of all things. So, looking at these cores of atoms and other particles and finding in there the center and the heart of all things means something quite interesting. Means that in every particle of existence and reality is the inner portal once again. If you want to go to another dimension, you just have to use your own particles. If you want to go see a sub-level of reality, just reach into that energy field and travel through it. If you want to go to the rainbow room, just reach into any particle that you want and you'll find it. You'll see that this was actually the point behind an exercise that was given a while ago. The exercise called the infinity angle. It is this that will help you to become bigger than you are, or actually to remember that you are bigger than you are. That is one point that I wanted to make. And others will speak about this more in depth. Actually, as the Lemurian being called Eae will come in later today to offer you actually a very authentic Ea Ichipa experience, as it was done back then, and most of it will be done in Lemurian, by the way, as that wonderful being will come in, you will see what is meant with the words that I spoke just now. Another thing that I want to talk to you about, however, and this is more important because this ties into what was said before, is the re-entry of 12 authentic sets of vibration and frequency that are re-emerging into planet Earth. And this is going to become a very important topic in the days and the weeks to come. Because, as you were told, in the center of the Earth, in that beautiful, beautiful light center, that sun, that core of the Earth, which is now also the heart of all things, are these 12 vibrations, infinite vibrations, waiting for you to give them definition and then to undefine them in every single moment. That is free energy, and that are the free energy times, after all. That is your power that you carry within you as a creator. But it isn't just going on in the earth. It isn't just going on in every star that you can see. It is also going on in the star that you usually can't see. And that star would be you. Solaris has told you that you are a star. You are star stuff. You are made of the same particles that create the stars of this universe. So that is what you are. In that star that you are, also exist 12 new vibrational energies that are waiting for you to define and undefine them. As you are now entering, or at least have entered, this new era, you will begin to notice that all the while before, everything that came before, I'm not just talking about this life, I'm talking about generations and generations that are now behind you, incarnations and lifetimes, often lifetimes of suffering and not understanding what the hell is going on this planet. That were parameters that were set into motion in agreement with what you would call the higher self. And as you know, it's not so that the higher self is a separate being and that he has a higher self and she has a higher self. There's only one. Like there's only one consciousness, there's only one awareness, there's only one higher self, and there was only one mental energy that is now neatly fading away and taking its proper place again. So this higher self energy has also been charged with the 12 infinite vibrations of free energy. And yet here you sit. The gates have opened and this new energy is just waiting to flood into your bodies. But what you are doing is, in a sense, and of course this is normal, you have no other concept, is to still play the old parameters, still play the old personality, based on the 12 vibrations of old energy that were you. And then some would say, who are listening to this message, for instance, at a later point, oh, no, Adamus, that's not correct. I no longer carry my personality. Oh? Do you still have a gender then, human? Do you still have a skin type? Do you still have sleep at night? Do you still have all of these things that were the definition of what it meant to be human in the past? That would be called the passive personality layer. And that is still present with everybody. No matter if you have already let go of personality issues or not, the passive personality layer, instead of the active personality layer with which you used to emote, is still there. And it's still defining what it means to be human. And it's okay. It isn't harmful or anything. All I'm saying is, it is redundant at this point. It is no longer necessary to carry this within you, to link yourself to a race that went through a process, that has a past, and that needs a future. You no longer need to carry these things. Oh, we know that so many things happen on planet Earth. And they happened in the recent past, in the last 100 years. So many wars were fought. And so there would be a race, and let's call them the Jews, for instance, that would have burned within them, deeply put within them, a slogan, never again. They would say, never again shall we be conquered, never again shall we be put to death, never again shall we go to the camps. And of course they did happen. But that is a past. That is an aspect of the passive personality of the Jewish people. You see? And for the Africans, it would be similar. Never again to them would mean the slavery that they went through. And to everybody, to each his own, or to each her own. It happened to everybody in the past. Everybody has this aspect of themselves that triggers them into wanting to fight, into wanting to stand up for themselves. And I'm asking you, Imzaia, and Shambra, and Lightworkers, and whoever you are, I am asking you, are you ready to erase these things once and for all? Are you ready to accept that they never really happened? Oh, some listening out there are getting quite enraged now. Never really happened, Adamus. My grandmother was in one of those concentration camps, they would say. Was she? Yes, of course it happened in the linear time frame that you remember now. But that is still a part of a passive personality trait. And it sometimes runs through families. It runs through emotions. Emotions can emerge from within you that you don't even know are there or where they're coming from. A fear of something that you don't know why it is there. All of that is part of a personality trait which is passive. And all of these things can be released now, if only you allow them to be released. Because humans like their pain. Some humans would even say, I need my pain. They don't. Not anymore. Maybe they needed it when they were in survival mode, and the active personality trait, don't be fooling yourself there, was always in survival mode. Even those who were having good lives, even those who thought they had it made because their ship had come in and they had all the money in the world, still survival mode. We're sitting in America here, your president of the United States, as current, is also in survival mode. Everybody who still carries the active personality trait is a survivor of something. When that is erased, the lower level remains, the passive level. And that is not something that needs to be explained in 12 sets of channelings. That is something that just needs to be let go of. It's very easy. How do you erase these things? How do you undo these things? By no longer focusing your attention there. Because that is where your energy will go. And that is what will keep the passive personality traits alive. If you start doing this, and you won't be able to start doing this all at once. You won't be able to just delete them all at once. But if you start doing this, you will see that you are going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this, until in the end, you will start reaching things that appear so valuable to you, that make up your biology, that make up your bodies. And I know what I'm talking about. It took me, after my years of training before I reached my ascension, when I got to that point, to the biological personality traits which are passive, because you don't even know that you chose them, usually. It took me another 3 years before I could completely let go of that because that was so important to me. Even though there were many biological traits about me that I didn't like. My nose was too big. My eyes were too small. I snored. I had all of these things I didn't like about myself. Oh yes, I did. But even those things that we don't like and that we actually fight against all our lives are precious to the personality, you see? Because they are ways of suffering. They are ways of not liking you and judging you and all those things. So, then some would say, I've already gone past that as well. Yes, but you still sit in the body. You still sit in a fixed body that never really changes. It only gets older, or it can get sick, or you can lose a limb or whatever. That's how the body changes. Or you can change the color of your hair. But to do that, you have to go to the hairdresser. To do that, you have to relate to something external to you. If you let go of these passive personality traits, that is the way out of it. So, since in the last few messages that we gave you, we have talked about the rainbow room. And since you now know that the rainbow room is in the heart of all things, so you could actually say it's in the center of the earth, somewhere in a neat little dimension, we are going to be calling these 12 sets of infinite vibration the rainbow vibrations. For one simple reason. Because they are actually infinite. As I told you, each vibration is a totality on its own. And all of them together make up an infinite totality. You see? That is waiting to come in now. That is open now. That happened when the higher self let go of the need for personality, and now the human self, let's say, or the lower self, I don't like that word, the lower self, now the human self also needs to let go of these things. And that is when your rainbow vibrations will come in. Another reason why we're calling them rainbow is because they are not fixed. They keep changing. Every time you look at a rainbow, anywhere on planet Earth, you will see a different rainbow. It will never be quite the same. The colors might match, but now that you're going to start looking with different eyes, you're going to see that every rainbow is always different. Never really has the same attributes. And it is not the rainbow doing that. It is your light and the rainbow's light reflecting off each other that is creating that difference each time. So you could almost say that when you see an object like a rainbow out there in the reality, what you are actually seeing is a reflection of your own energy field. Of course you know this, but today, more so than ever, you are going to find yourself beginning to work with this. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it, because I can't tell you how to do it. A teacher could tell you how to do it. I'm no longer the teacher, I am the friend. And as a friend, I am advising you. I am telling you that it might be interesting for you to do it. And as a friend, I will also say that each and every one of you will have a different way of bringing in those rainbow vibrations, of letting go of the passive personality traits. Never forget that in these times that are now at hand, there is one label that is still appropriate to wear on your forehead or on your heart, wherever you want, and that is very simple. I am the teacher. And actually you could even say, I am. Because the I am is the teacher of all things, the teacher that wants to mold things and define and undefine them again. You are indeed the teacher. And our role is no longer to continuously explain things to you. You could actually say, in a good way, that you fired us or that we quit. We'll leave that in the middle to not start a fight. But that is what happened. So all we can do now as friends is to advise you these things. How far will humanity go? Will you be able to reach that complete state of fluidity? My personal opinion about that is of course, yes. But will you be able to do it? That depends on you. And you, and each and everybody here, and each and everybody listening. That's the way it's going to work from now on. I can no longer guarantee at this point that you will remain within the same experiences of reality. If you were to ask the Lemurian, back when, what Lemuria looks like, if you were to ask any Lemurian, if 3 of them are looking at a particular spot, and you were to ask them what it looked like, or what they were seeing, it could be completely different things. And actually, if 3 of them were looking at the same object, and they were seeing different things, then these things would match in a level of synchronicity that would be so high that the 3 different visions added to each other to create a 4th, which would be the experience of the object itself as it was being seen. And that is literally the concept of awareness, is it not? That is what Lemuria is all about. That is what God and divinity and all those things are all about. So that is what is available to humanity now, the rainbow vibrations. 12 different ones, each implicating infinity. So I am not going to name the 12. I'm not going to say the first vibration is to erase bad breath, or the second one is to erase the problem with your eyes, and the third one is to erase age for all time. No, that's not how it's going to work. These vibrations are continuously going to shift and create whatever you want to create, because that is your essence, as it is being projected into you on a field of experience. Others, and myself, have always called the earth a field of experience. But up until now, it wasn't really. It was a field of forced experience for most people. The field of experience is only there when you can choose what you are going to experience. And as long as you need to experience a forced experience that door over there is a door with a certain color, etc., 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 that is a forced experience. It's not only a forced experience for yourself, it's also a forced experience for the awareness that is the door. You see? So that means that, as was said here before, a time of playfulness, indeed, is going to come again. It is going to be here again. Playfulness with each and every object. A while ago, a beautiful Akeneic angel, some of you know her very well, said that she was doing the infinity angle exercise with a wall, and the wall started laughing at her. That is playfulness. That is what there's directly ahead. All of life, Imzaia, is actually nothing more than a game of hide and seek. That is all it is. Can you find out what form I'm in right now, and can you find me? Can you be quick enough to catch up with my energy? Do you want to play with me? That is what it is all about, and that is what the 12 rainbow vibrations are going to allow you to find. Now, the concept of the rainbow room has been created because it will allow you a process of bringing in these 12 rainbow vibrations. That is why it was created, and it will continue to exist as long as you are bringing them in. But don't expect that room, or that field, or whatever you want to call it, to be there forever. At a certain point, obviously, it's no longer going to be necessary. Because right now, if you want to go into the Akeneic, most people would close their eyes and would say, oh, I'm there now, and I'm experiencing this now. But you're still here in the room, right? That level of separation, you having to be here and then to imagine yourself or to see yourself or to feel yourself or to touch yourself in a room somewhere, a rainbow room somewhere, is going to be gone once you bring in those 12 rainbow vibrations. Be warned, however, bringing those in have tremendous consequences on the reality that you sit in. And the reality that you sit in, by that I mean your physical reality that you sit in, the hologram that you sit in. I need to undefine something here. Up until very shortly, a hologram used to be a bending of light, a gathering of light rays and light particles. Yes? And these would create an image that, when you believed in the hologram or were taking part in the hologram, would appear real to you. And you were told, which is true, which was true actually, that any particle of the hologram would hold within it the totality of the entire hologram. Yes? In these times, as you bring in those free energy vibrations or rainbow vibrations or whatever you're going to end up calling them, we're just going to give suggestions on names these days, are going to erase that. You see, it was also a level of forced experience that the little particle of the total hologram needed to contain the total hologram. Because then that is a limited concept, is it not? There you are, being a hologram, and within you was a particle reflecting the totality of you. And now you could say, yes, but a while ago, Adamus, you and others have said that the particle that is you within the hologram is no longer reflecting you, it is reflecting all the cosmos. Yes, we did say that. We also said that you have an internal and an external body. The internal body would be the physical body and what goes on the inside, and the external body would be the reality that you see around you, no matter how far you want to stretch that. Within the rainbow vibrations of infinity, the one particle of the hologram no longer holds the totality of the hologram. And this is going to be difficult at this point to understand, but what it really does hold is nothing. Nothingness. Or what you should call awareness. Infinity. A mold, a blank state that can become anything. And that is a true, free hologram. And that is where you're going tonight, right now. That is what is directly ahead for humanity. Actually, there is one race on planet Earth who has always done this. And it is a race that many Pleiadians and other star races have loved communicating with. And it is called, well, I'm almost going into separation here. I need to give two names for one race. It is called the dolphin whale. These beings already did that. You are so funny. You think that dolphins have a particular form, and that when you see them, when you think about them, or when you look at a picture of them, that is what dolphins look like. You were always told that dolphins see things holographically. And the only way a being can see holographically, if their hologram and the particle that makes up their hologram is simply awareness. It is not limited. It is not about totality. It is about all and nothing at the same time. You see? These beings only appeared to you a certain way because you needed a stable field of experience from them in order to see them. And that is why you are seeing so little of what is really there. Because the frequencies of the eyes, and actually of all the senses, are only aligned with that which has a forced form of experience. Even the clouds. You could think, oh, that's something in the sky that takes on all these different shapes. No. There is only a finite selection of shapes that clouds can take, and it had to do with potential. Clouds could have all these magnificent forms in the past because they had tremendous potential to be anything they wanted to be. But with the choice instead of the potential now coming in, that is also vanishing. So dolphins only gave you an image so you could see them. But there are millions and millions of beings on this planet Earth that have no forced field of experience. So you cannot perceive them. You have called them many things in the past. You have called them angels. You have called spirits. You have said these things about them. You have sometimes even called them aliens. I'm not going to say there is no alien life that is similar to yours out there. Today, even the Jeshua, the channel here, has told you that there's so much life out there, and that is true. But he was actually just talking about the forced field of experience of life that you could see. Beyond that lies infinity. And the infinity, as you know, is what you are stepping back into. So to summarize, because I don't want to keep you going for too long, to summarize, the most important thing to remember that I would like to offer you so that you can think about it is the passive personality traits that are definitely going to be erased with most people because they are going to want it. And then also remember the 12 rays of rainbow vibration that are becoming available, that are totally nondescript, they are totally not fixed, and that actually will create your hologram or recreate your hologram in such a way that one particle no longer holds the totality of the hologram, but simply awareness. Alright? We'll talk about these things again when the time is right, and as was promised, I am looking forward to an interesting Q&A. The point is to come sit in the chair, not to run away, darling.
She didn't hear you.
Is there anybody who has a first question? And welcome back, Ambika. You have a good night's sleep? So many people are always experiencing these things on different levels. Is there anybody who has a first question?
I'll go.
Please come. Please come over here.
Up front?
Yes.
Okay.
That way we can look each other into the eye.
Right. Okay. I was wondering if you have any suggestions how I should proceed with my music and art in the new energy.
Yes. Any other questions? I will talk to you about it. Well, you see, on an old earth, music and art and expression have always been free, have always been a state of freedom, and very desirable state of freedom to experience your life in. That is why actually so many people are jealous of artists and painters and actors and all of these things. And it is also why that type of career or work was the most attainable one, most desired one, actually. What I can say about new energy and also the free energy and the artistry that is there is that you need to undefine what you are actually going to create. Humans still like to separate these things, so they go sit in their studio or in their room or wherever, and then they'll say, I'll create now a piece of music. I'm going to do a painting. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Can you imagine that these things could actually blend together? So what I would advise you actually is, I'm not saying that you can't make a piece of music anymore, but don't let that choice be the beginning of it. Dare to go deeper. Dare to go in temporarily what is now called the rainbow room and experience what you want to create. It could be that you are going to experience, when you do that, a special type of color that nobody has ever seen before, and then you will come out of it and then allow yourself to automatically flow to the tool for creation that you will need. And also remember that this is just a phase in between. As I have told already, and as others have also told already, you are going to get to a point where you no longer need any type of tool to create. You are just going to have the ability to emit it and put it on the Akeneic. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Do you need anything else?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Anyone else has a question?
I'll go. I have a question, so I might as well go.
That is the point.
My question has to do
Yes.
with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I've been curious about it for a long, long time.
Your inner voice, you mean? Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you're here.
I appear to be.
Yeah, and so where has it come from? I mean, has it come from multiple places? And is that going to change?
Mm-hmm. It's very simple. You have been, and always will be, listening to you. You could say that what you have been listening to was the end result of the work of art that is you. You see that? That is where it is coming from. It is your wisdom. It is your truth. It is there for you and for any other person to work with, to experience with. And it is beautiful. You should never forget that. As I was saying at the beginning of this discourse, humanity still expects things to be named, and where are they coming from, what is this, all of that is going to blend. The only reason why I carry the name Adamus, and why Ekara would carry Ekara, and Kuan Yin would carry Kuan Yin, and Tobias would carry Tobias, etc., and is that we have waited until you, all of you, would arrive. Yes? So we have been in a transit zone, a transit space, a sort of railway station basically, where we would communicate to you in the hopes that you would get to that place at one point. We could all blend together and move on. At that point, I will also no longer carry that name. What you are talking to, or what is talking to you, is our end result. You see?
And that's always been?
That's always been. Sometimes it's a little bit clouded because of fear. And actually, it is very strange because there have been moments in your existence where you were in a very mental state. You would call it the mind. And yet, the voice spoke. Yet it came through. And clear. That has been your safety. That was always there. It would keep you here. It would keep you in existence so that you would continue to go on. You see? But the voice that is talking to you is oneness. And it is the voice that is available to any human, plant, animal, alien, whatever. And it is what we will all become.
Is it in the Akeneic?
You could say that, yes. But I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Don't tell anyone else.
I might. I like to talk. and I like to tell secrets. But I'll try.
I'll spill first.
I'll try.
I'll make sure this gets on the internet before you can tell
Okay.
anyone.
Well, that'll steal my thunder.
All right. What most humans now see as the end result, namely discovering and working with the Akeneic and becoming the Akeneic, what you will see at one point, and that is actually directly ahead in about a year or two when all of humanity will be working with this, is that the Akeneic is the portal. The Akeneic is the portal towards that voice that you are now talking of. You could call the Akeneic the station, the waiting station, the waiting room that we are in right now. It is a go-between between Akeneic energy, a combination of matter and energy, and what lies on the other side, which is not even the other side anymore. You see? So that is where the voice is coming from. It is absolute stillness, it is absolute perfection, it is absolute beauty, and it's absolutely you.
There have been times where it seemed to be misguiding. I mean, and I never was really sure whether it was mental coming out or whether it was just that I was doubting. Can you...
Yes, that is all to do with the filter. There is a sort of filter that people have that often clouds their judgment, but it can go two ways. Most of the time, when such an energy comes in and speaks, or you allow it to speak because it's always there, the filter of humanity, meaning your emotions, your personality, what you just gone through, the reason why you asked the question, and the desired outcome of the question, might sometimes cloud you. And it might block you from seeing the truth. One way, or the other way, is that it actually tells you the truth, and it is a good truth, but the filter doesn't allow you to see that that is the path that you should follow, and then it seems false. You see? So that is both ways that the filter can go. It can actually never be wrong. What can happen is that the voice can be blocked because of strong mental energy, and then the mind comes in and speaks to you, but usually you immediately see that. You immediately hear that it is wrong. You see? Because it will just be telling you what it needs to survive.
So, the last couple of months or so, wherever I heard it, that the channeling was going to stop, and so I did get a thing that was not going to communicate with me anymore in this way, and so I just kind of stopped with it. But the last week or two, it began to start to run, and so I just always thought maybe it was you, maybe I just didn't know, and I haven't really been referring to that, which has been greatly missed.
Yes.
Is it there available for me if I just open up to it again?
Definitely still available to you, yes. My suggestion would be continue working with it until you will no longer need to hear it, but you will experience it in you and all around you.
Till I grow to where I really
Yes.
am that.
Yes, that is right about it. There is the reason why you are hearing it as a voice is because the Akeneic has a sort of filter around it as well, so that it can communicate to three-dimensional existence, and that is what I have previously already described, and my dear friends have also described as Yoham. It is a type of you being God. It is your divinity. It is around you. It is a new type of divinity where you are recognizing divinity in each and everything, in everything that you see around you, and each person that you see around you. That is why it is coming in as a voice. Once you have reached that level, once you are beyond that, then you are right in front or inside of the Akeneic, and as you push through that, you will see that it can no longer speak as a voice, much
So,
like
and I
I'm
have
continuously
more
being
recently,
translated.
there has been like a conveyance of knowing.
Yes.
And so that's coming from the same place.
Yes, and that's going to, how shall I say this? It's going to take over in the end. It's going to take over the voice, because the voice is still an intermediate system.
It's like a bridge thing.
Yes, yes. But trust it. Trust it. Just make sure that when you use it, you are right here in the heart. Never use it when you are afraid. Never use it when you are in
Mental.
pain. Yes, mental. All right?
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you for your question. Anyone else?
Yes.
Please come over. Hello.
And this is hard for me to be up here.
I do it all the time.
And I think I probably know the answer to this. But
Okay, next question.
I have been told and have felt that I should be a healer, an energy healer.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I know that a lot of that is going away.
Yes.
But I've never been able to feel comfortable in any of the energy type healings.
Yes.
And what my feeling has been the last few years, that it will be just love.
Mm-hmm.
That I would be, anywhere I go, that would heal. And I still don't know.
When you say this, it moves you, yes? So then it is the truth. You see that. Let me tell you this, because I see that you still have difficulty seeing the star that you are. You are simply love. And in the days that you have spent with these people here, you have touched them. You didn't touch them with your hands. You didn't put your hands on them and say, hallelujah, and the light didn't come in. But you did touch them. And they are changed because of it. And that is what you did. And that is who you are. But I'm going to give you a mission. Because that is what people like.
Yes.
In the next days, and please understand I'm going to say this on a metaphorical level, I want you, or I invite you, to touch yourself first. You forget that so often, and you will put yourself out there for anybody. But what about you? What about you in the other person? As you touch a person, you heal, you touch everything within them except for that part within them that is you. You are very good at what you're doing, and you are progressing very rapidly in these last few weeks on your path that you want to travel. But if you continue to put yourself last, you're going to get stuck in the mud at some point, and you're going to take a lot of time for recovery. So be aware that you don't do this. Allow yourself to be that healer at all times. You see? It is why Jeshua and others have chosen the name ambassadors. Because an ambassador is aware at any moment that he or she is a representative of something, a type of energy, and he or she is bringing that energy wherever they go. The first place you always have to go, however, is within yourself. So how about you wake up every morning and you connect to yourself and you are remembering that you are valuable, that you are worthy, and that you are powerful. If you do that, then you will really touch people, because then you will touch them completely, because then you will recognize within them that part that is you. And I can tell you, dear sweet sister, I can tell you that there have been people here in the last few days who within you have seen themselves and their loved ones, and it was magnificent, and you healed something for them, but you don't even realize it. And you have to start realizing it. Otherwise I'm going to kick your ass.
Is that a promise?
That is a promise. Come here, you. I love you. Is that an answer to your question?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Ah,
I'm going to be brave.
you're going to be brave.
Yes.
Let's be brave together.
First, I'd like to say I'm sorry for kicking you in the shins for a week.
You already gave Joshua that message and I received it. I kick back.
I know. It goes on to what she said. I don't hear, but for 10 years I have this loud buzzing sound like I have bees in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's so bad I can't think.
That's a good thing.
Yes. I don't know what it is. And I do know that sometimes if I set a time limit for myself to do something and I go to sleep, the buzzing wakes me up.
Mm-hmm.
Just in time
Yeah.
to whatever I need to do. Or if I'm driving down the road, the buzzing increases, and so I figure out, okay, then I better watch what I'm doing or how I'm driving because I might have an accident.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about as far as I can go, and I don't really understand what's going on.
All right. What you first must know is that as humanity is now expanding itself, and the mind has collapsed, and consciousness is opening up again, what is very important to remember is that everybody has their own unique way of experiencing energy. Life is becoming much more about navigating through vibration and frequency, and it is almost like you are a dolphin in water, and a dolphin actually, not many people know this, but a dolphin navigates in 3 ways. First, there is sound. Obviously, most people know that. What most people don't know, however, is that they navigate through light, how the light reflects in the water, and that is how they recognize the space and the time and the moment that they're in. And the third and most important part actually is heat and cold. You see? So the hotness of the water and all of that, and the cold of the water and all of that. What I'm trying to say here is they blend all of these things together. And what is hot and cold? What is light and water and light and dark. And what is sound? It's all vibration, it's all frequency matching up, bouncing into each other. You see? As you are traveling this earth, as you are not even traveling this earth, experiencing this earth, I should say, you get vibrations that come through you, that are emitted from you, and sometimes they match up and they create a good space for evolution, or they create a negative space for evolution. These things you are translating into what you call buzzing in your head. So they are a navigation system, you could almost say, like a cosmic GPS. You see? It helps you at this moment, at this very delicate stage between humanity and divinity that you're in right now, to make the right decisions, to take the right steps. And actually, it is happening with a lot of children these days. A lot of what used to be called crystals and indigos, but children, cosmic children, new age children, are experiencing this these days as well, and to them it is a very natural process. So just use it and experiment with it, because actually right now you're just scratching the surface of it. What you are now hearing as a buzzing can also translate itself into color and other things. You can also choose that the buzzing becomes something pleasant and it becomes like a tune or something. So it is yours to work with. It is based on previous experiences, not in your life, but actually in your family line, where this was actually a problem within some of your great grandfathers and mothers. You see? Where they had the ringing of the ears, which is a disease. You have picked that up and took that into something that can be used. It reminds me of one of my dear friends on the Akeneic, a young child who actually took the concept of Ritalin that he had to take from his parents and turn it into something positive, something empowering. That is what you did with the disease that some of your great grandparents had. And that is how it works.
Okay.
Does this explain a lot to you?
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yeah. When I listen to it, I ask, if you get louder, is it where you want me to go, or if you get
You're asking
lower?
me for a manual.
I know. No. I just want to,
Ringing for dummies.
I guess it fits.
No. Don't go there.
No. It's just that sometimes I confuse myself whether
Can you
which way to go, which way to navigate through
Look.
this increased sound or decreased sound. I don't know which way to navigate.
can you
through
accept this? It doesn't always mean the same.
it. Okay. Yes, I can.
It doesn't mean that increased buzzing means danger, Will Robinson, or less buzzing means safety zone.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're feeling with it, and go into that.
Yes.
When it comes or when it goes away, when it becomes louder or silent, what does it do with you?
Okay. Yeah.
And that is the navigation.
Yeah, that's where I've been going into.
Yes.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Can I have a?
Yes, you can have a hug. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Going. Well then. Beloved beings, what more is there to say then? Than to wish you Godspeed, and to wish you an abundant explosion of adventure. I said a while ago that the human adventure is just beginning, and it is true. I wish for you, for all of you, that you can let go of the passive personality traits. And if you haven't already, definitely of the active ones. I wish for you that you can be in a paradigm of freedom and love and joy, because that is what it is all about. Life has gotten immensely more simple if you allow it to be there. There's simply two ways of seeing reality now. It's the old vibrations that are still there, or it's these rainbow vibrations, or the new vibrations, or whatever you want to call them. And they're going to be there for you. The old ones are going to serve you as long as you want them to be there. And the only way they are going to finally go away and blend with what is new and what is infinite is, as you know, the pathway that is called forgiveness towards innocence, towards non-judgment. Letting go of the judgment about your old life, letting go of the never again, as was said, is what is the way out of it. The current state, and that's the last thing I'm going to say, the current state of humanity is best reflected in the current state of the spiritual seekers that all of you are. If you can let go of all of your differences, if you can let go of the fact that you feel further ahead or that you feel so much lower and less advanced than anyone else, and if you can just all blend that together, then you are going to be fine. The current state of you as a spiritual seeker among spiritual seekers will be the navigational system for the steering course of humanity. And never forget that. We are grateful that you are here on the planet and that you are taking the lead. And all I can say now is, may we have this dance. See you soon on the toilet, under the shower, or when you are playing with yourself. I am that I am, and so it is.